Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Simply Lily podcast. Guess what? If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found your way to this space. And if you've been rocking with me season one, season two, you already know this is home. If you know, you know. This is where we reset. This is where we get honest. This is where we grow together. And today, we're just not starting an episode. We're opening a whole new season. Ah, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Season 3, y'all. And I don't know about you, but this season's gonna feel different. It's not gonna be rushed, not pressured, but it's gonna be intentional. So I want to start this season by asking you something real. How are you all really doing? Not the, oh, I'm good. Not the, oh, just busy. Not the version of you that shows up for everybody else. But you, have you checked in with yourself lately? Like, truly sat down and said, how is my mind doing? How is my heart doing? Am I okay? Or am I just functioning? These are my new things that after learning about spiritual hygiene that I start saying to myself daily, and I kind of incorporate it into, okay, so how am I doing today? It's going to be a good day. Everything is going to be okay. I'm not going to even dibble and dabble with this that really didn't even matter the other day. I'm going to just let it go. How are we functioning? Because sometimes we don't realize that we've been in survival mode until life finally slows down. And season 3, this is not survival mode anymore. This is alignment mode. And when we talk about alignment, we're going to try to find that balance so that we can get it right. And we're going to do this together. So when we're talking about getting things together, we're the same us, but we just want to be better. Cuz let's get something clear right now. It's not like you need to be a whole new person. You don't need to erase who you are and you don't need to start from scratch. This season is about refinement. It's about being the same you, but wiser, stronger, more self aware, and of course, more intentional. Because if we're honest, you've already done a lot of the hard work. You've cried, you've healed, you've let go of things that you couldn't live without. So now the question is, ask yourself, what are you doing with that growth? Is everything that you're doing for yourself, and I'm going to speak about myself as well, because I'm coming here with the intentionality of, putting it out there about myself as well. But are we everything that we say that we want to do, we want to change, we don't want to deal with anymore, that doesn't serve us any purpose? All the books we're reading, all the therapy we're going through, are we applying it to our lives, or are we just like slipping back into old patterns simply because they feel familiar? And, I'll keep it at 100 like I always do. I caught myself once or twice. I say like twice, where I was like, sometimes you go back into these circles that we were a part of at one time. And it's like you go in, it's like, oh, you're so happy to see our friends and or people you haven't seen in a long time because the weather's nice and you're running into more people than you normally do when it's winter. And then all of a sudden, in 5 to 7 minutes into the conversation, it's like you find yourself just like blah, 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 and everything's just starting to, be scrambled eggs in your mind. It's like because now you're starting to talk about stuff that you already let go. And you kind of catch yourself and say, hold up, I don't even want to go there. And I caught myself and I pat myself on the back because I'm like, girl, listen, I am so glad to see you, but I seriously, seriously got to go. I have got like 101 things going, but we can catch up one time. And I left it at that because I literally found myself going backwards and doing the things that I was letting go of and things that I've already let go of. But the thing is that I caught it and then I walked away and I'm like, yeah, moving on. So, with that said, I really did want to share that because I did feel good about myself when I experienced that. And this is what it's about. It's about making sure that we have that awareness and not falling into those, slip ups and going backwards. Because let me tell you something, we're not walking backwards, we're walking forward. So don't look backwards because you're not going that way. But let me keep it real now. Let's talk about mental check ins because we say we're healing, but are we checking in? And I'm saying that because are we checking in or are we distracting ourselves by scrolling, working, avoiding? Because sometimes we stay so busy, we don't have time to sit with ourselves because growth, and I said this before, requires honesty. So let me ask you again, are your thoughts peaceful? Are you speaking kindly to yourself? Are you giving yourself grace? Or, this is a big one, are you still your biggest critic? Because the truth is, you can't build a peaceful life with a chaotic mind. I am working on this so hard, but I'm getting better, but it's a lot of work. But the results are good. And I feel good. I've been feeling real good. And I feel that I can honestly say I'm in a different place. But I do have to say this. And this is one thing that I have learned. Just because we're making these adjustments or these changes in our lives, it doesn't mean that everyone else has to accept it. Remember, this is your journey, not theirs. And there are going to be times like even with our kids and with family and friends where they'll notice the change, but they're not digging it. They're not digging the new you because now it's almost like you're not feeding into things, you're not you're not easily bothered. You're not explaining yourself over and over again as to why you didn't go somewhere or feeling bad because you didn't go somewhere. Now you're basically doing your own mental check ins. You're doing what is actually working for you to move forward. And I have to say, awareness is where it starts. And that's basically it because we can say things and we can talk to our girls and say, yeah, I'm going to do this. Yeah, because I'm not doing this anymore. And we get into these conversations that's all they are is conversations. And sometimes we say things in conversations just to be part of the conversation. But we need to have this awareness of why am I even engaging in this topic? It's not that you're not going to talk to your friends. It's engaging in this topic when you know that you're not even there anymore. So I am learning that the awareness of my engagement makes a difference on my mindset. And I've also learned that the way I engage is a reaction onto how I feel about myself. And sometimes it's not like I'm doing this whole, how am I feeling because I did that? No, it's a mental check in that, wow, I had a really good week. I had a good day. And then when you really think about it, not giving it deep thought, it was like, oof, no nonsense, no toxicity, no crazy conversations. And then you keep putting that into practice. And by the time you know it, things just start shifting differently. But speaking of shifts, let me take this in a different direction. Let's talk about love. Where do you stand now? Because mind you, we're 3 seasons in. That's, something like 20 something episodes. So let's go there. Love, Love, because I know this is a tender space for a lot of us, myself included. So where are we with love right now? Are you open to it again? Are you already in it? Are you trying to figure it out? Or are you still protecting your peace so much that you've closed the door completely? And listen, no judgment. But let me share. I've actually shared that I've been alone close to 3 years. And I found myself, I've learned so much about myself, and I've actually come to a place where I can honestly say that it is something that I needed because I've also shared before, I was a teenage mom. I've never really even been by myself. And even though I'm with my daughter, she's 22, but even though she's grown and the dynamics are not just mom and daughter, but I'm also her caregiver, but we are trying to be as normal as we can. And I say that because life hasn't stopped because the C word stepped into her life. And life hasn't stopped because we're waiting to make sure everything turns out okay. No, we're living normal lives. We're just going with the flow of we have an appointment here, we have an appointment there. But in reality, my alignment has been mom, caregiver, worker, and then I have to do Lil time. And the Lily time here is I need to start getting myself where I really want to be normal. And I've come to the conclusion that I want to start being involved in a relationship again. And when I came about thinking about that, it wasn't something where, man, I've been so long. I need a man. I need to have a man. I want to start going out on dates. No, I almost I'm going to be honest. I was more into the it's time. I'm ready for this. I'm in a different mindset, and I can give someone literally a better version of me because that has been my problem in the past. That you know I get in a relationship and it's a lengthy relationship, but then I'm growing, but the other person isn't. And you don't take the time to interview and get to know exactly what it is that you want because we're so busy. But see, I'm not that busy anymore. And I know what I want, I know what I don't want, and I know what I'm not going to settle for. So I am happy to say that I've been talking to somebody and it's moving slow. I mean slow. But I like the direction that it's going in. So I believe that sometimes God puts situations in our lives to realize things. And I know when this situation happened with um, me becoming an overnight caregiver, I was already by myself, but it gave me time to really focus on what it is that really needed to do. And it gave me a focus on how to prioritize myself. And when you start prioritizing yourself, you start reflecting on what needs to be done. And then once you have your priorities kind of together, then that's when you start getting that alignment. Because healing changes how we approach love. And that's something I learned. Some of us are learning to love again without fear. And I can honestly say that because I was afraid of messing up again or just wasting my time. But now I have the knowledge, I have the patience, and I know what I want, that I think it's going to be better. And I have to say, some of us are learning how to receive love without questioning it. And some of us, um, we are, some of us are learning that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. And I say that because when I was by myself for the last couple years, I wasn't lonely. I liked it. It was like it was just a feeling where, oh my God, I don't have to cook. I don't have to wash clothes for anybody. I don't have to wait for the bathroom. I don't have to hear gas in the morning. I don't have to, it was a lot of I don't have to, but then you get used to being like that. I'm not saying I miss it, but what I'm saying is that being alone, it didn't bother me. But then the real question to me was, are you choosing your current space out of peace or fear? And that's actually what I asked myself. Lil, are you like literally just, this is the peace you want, or are you just scared to get back into the game again? Because there is a difference. Again, the alignment and the avoidance. Staying in your comfort zone can feel safe, but sometimes it also is where growth stops. And that's a box we don't want to find ourselves in. And let's be honest, it's easy to stay in the box because, see, there's something about that box that I've learned. That box is predictable. That box doesn't challenge you. That box doesn't require risk. But the box also doesn't allow expansion. And you didn't come this far to stay small. I know I didn't. I know I've been working hard, but now it's almost like a movement within myself. And I'm not letting anyone destroy my peace. And that's the thing. If you're going to have someone come into your life, that person should bring you peace or may bring you more peace and not sabotage your peace. So ask yourself, am I experiencing life or just observing it? Or am I stepping out or staying tucked away? I mean, think about that. Think about what it is when we just like, oh my God, I love to come home and it's just peace and quiet. Or the conversation of, I don't know, because I don't bother with nobody. That's why I stay to myself and I like it like that. But do you really? And how healthy is it to not deal with anybody and just stay by yourself and just go to work, come home? That's not healthy either. Not saying that you have to go find a boyfriend because of that, but you have to get out of that box. And it's one of those things we got to start feeling good, but we got to start feeling good from the inside out. Remember about that spiritual hygiene I talked about? So let's switch it up a little. Let's talk about how we feel because energy, listen, y'all, that matters. That little word matters a lot. And yes, we love getting our hair done. We love getting our nails done. But feeling good goes deeper than that. Are you moving your body? Are you taking care of your health? Are you keeping up with your appointments and not canceling all the time because, oh, you just don't feel like going anywhere? And are you making time for yourself outside of responsibilities? You know, going out for a walk or just going out and just, even if you just go to a show or to a movie, even if you go by yourself or out to eat by yourself, you got to make time for yourself outside of all the appointments, all the things that are just on your calendar. And I'm trying to find my way into doing that because even if I just go to the store and I just, window shop, I do a lot of that lately. At least I'm out of the house and I'm just keeping up with things because self care is not just aesthetic, it's discipline. And I own that because I have been trying to really stay with that. And it's consistency, it's choosing yourself even when life gets busy. And let's not forget this part, getting dressed for you. Not just for attention and not for validation, but because you deserve to feel good in your own skin. Because if you think about it, sometimes putting on a good outfit, that changes your whole mindset. And it's not about being extra, it's about showing up for yourself. Listen, I sew a lot. And I've made outfits that I just made things just to make them. And I'm at the point now, I'm putting it on. I'm not saving it just for this occasion. I'm getting dressed. When I leave the house, I make sure I have my lip gloss and my hoops on and some mascara. Because listen, I'm going to feel good about that. And I am going to go out there. And when I go out there, I'm not going to be like, oh, let me not go over there because I'm looking a hot mess right now. No, when you go leave the house, take time for yourself and take time that when you walk out of the house, you're going to feel good about yourself. And showing up for yourself, listen, no one else is going to do it but you. And let's talk about something deeper, but we're going to keep it real. I'm not going to be preachy about this. And that is your spirituality. Where are you with that? Are you still connected? Are you still praying? Are you still grounding yourself? Or has life gotten so loud that you've drifted a little bit? And let me tell you something, it happens. But it's recognizing it and getting back on track again. But the goal isn't perfection, it's the consistency. Even if it's just a moment of gratitude, even if it's just saying, thank you for getting me through today. I have a scripture. I have this, and it's such a simple sentence, but yet such a very meaningful sentence. And it is Romans 12, verse 2. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I love this because it doesn't say become someone else. It says renew. And by that, refresh, reset, and realign. That's what we're doing this season. So let's bring it all together. Talk about goals, boundaries, and intentional living. See, season 3 of the Simply Lily podcast is about intentionality, not just saying what we want, but living it. So let me ask you, are your goals still clear? Are your boundaries still strong? Are you honoring what you said you deserved? Because boundaries aren't just for the other people, they're for you too. And one thing about boundaries that I've learned, they protect your peace and they protect your energy and they protect your growth. And goals, y'all know how I feel about goals. I write goals because I like the outcome of when I complete them. They don't work unless you do. But this time, we're not forcing it. We're flowing with purpose. And what's coming? Let's talk about energy. I'm so excited for this season because we're going deeper, but we're also growing smarter. We're talking about real love, self-worth, discipline, healing without rushing it, and of course, becoming your best yourself. Season is elevated, more honest, more intentional, and more aligned. And I want you to feel like every time you come here, you leave with a little better than you came. And that's my purpose. So, as we step into season 3, I want you to carry this with you. You don't need to start over. You just need to move differently. You need to think differently. Let me reword that. We need to think differently. We choose differently, and we need to show up differently. Because I'm on this journey right along with you. Same you, just better. More aware, more grounded, more intentional. And whatever season you're in right now, whether you're single, healing, in love, or just figuring it out, know this. You're exactly where you need to be, but just don't stay stuck. Thank you for being here. Thank you for growing with me. This is season 3. And guess what? We're just getting started. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay grounded, stay intentional, and always keep it simply you.